Trace, test and isolate. That was last year's strategy. But now, as we have a sizable vaccinated population, life is slowly returning to normal in some parts of the world. The next challenge is to keep it that way, to ensure that there are no super spreaders in public places. How do you do that? Surely testing everyone cannot be the solution. But what if you had a quick and reasonably accurate alternative? New studies say dogs can detect Wuhan virus cases, even asymptomatic ones. Is this a viable option going forward? And how accurate are our canine testers? Take a look.
Dogs don't miss much. Drugs, weapons, gunpowder, they can sniff it all out in seconds. And with proper training, they can also detect diseases. A new study in the UK found that dogs can detect 90% of Wuhan virus infections, whether symptomatic or not. How do these dogs do it? Infected people give off a certain odour. Humans can't sense it, but dogs can.
They have 350 million sensory receptors dedicated to olfaction. Now, this means they can smell a teaspoon of sugar in the equivalent of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Us humans can smell it in a cup of tea. So we're talking about a very, very reliable and accurate biosensor.
The researchers planned an experiment. They gathered clothing and face masks from infected patients. Once the samples were arranged in the lab, the dogs got to work. The results were staggering. The dogs successfully identified between 94 and 82% samples. So the question is it time to let the dogs out? Not quite. Dogs can't replace PCR tests. But they can filter out likely patients, which means you can combine the canine tests with a normal COVID test. Together, they give you a success rate of 91%. At airports, these sniffer dogs could be a game changer. But before they become approved testers, this study will have to be peer-reviewed, at least in the UK, that is. Elsewhere, dogs are already frontline workers. Here they are at a testing centre in Corsica, running around, smelling samples collected from volunteers.
Once a dog detects, we will get a confirmation from a second dog, if necessary, even a third dog to be sure. These results are then recorded on an international database, which will also be published scientifically later.
Here's another good boy sniffing out the Wuhan virus in Thailand.
Most of the tests run by government officials are swab tests, and the elderly are quite scared of that. And some of the sick people can only be in their beds, which makes travelling impossible. So the sniffer dogs have become the alternative in testing.
In Mexico, sniffer dogs are veterans of detection. They have experience dealing with cartels and their weapons and drugs. And so virus testing is just one more stop in a day's work. But can dogs become mainstream testers? The fact is, we need more evidence. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.